Morning people, this is, I say morning because it's just gone 1 minute past midnight, so it's technically now the 8th of May. This is Captain Machine, and I'm going to have a bit of a random video today. I'm going to have a bit of news, a bit of an update, and a bit of a review. So first of all, update. It's now the 8th of May, like I said, and on the 31st of May I'm going to the UK Game Expo in Birmingham. It's going to be a weekend of pure awesomeness with gaming. I'm going to be playing The Living Dungeon, and if anyone's been reading Dragon for the last 5 years, will know what that is, or been to Gen Con, will know what that is. If not, for some reason it's really hard to find information on the internet about it. I know for a fact they've made sure that you can't take pictures in there and you can't take videos in there, so that hasn't leaked out, which is good actually, because that means the surprise is not ruined for me. But it also means that there's very few reviews for it, which is also a shame. So I'll be talking about that, and I'll be giving a review on The Living Dungeon next month, sorry. So see that. I have checked YouTube, so I'll be the first person to do that, which is awesome. I'm also going to stay in a fantastic hotel. It better be fantastic for the amount of money I'm paying for it. Right, okay, now everything else is going to be kind of Call of Cthulhu related. Now I am a huge fan of Call of Cthulhu. You could say I'm a fanboy. I'm going to disprove it right now with this. Now that's a keeper screen. Hard as hell to find, and they do cost a small fortune on eBay if you're on a really bad day, especially when you're bidding against me. But I got it. I was like, yay! I got the little book adventure with it and all that, and the cardboard to hold it. It's very flimsy, but then again, most screens at that time were you don't get the ones that can kill a small man like the Warhammer ones or the vampire ones nowadays. When I say vampire, I mean World of Darkness. But look at that. That's resistance table, and you'll notice that there are no numbers in the black border, so I can't use it. To be honest with you, I only bought that to say I had it, but no wonder it's not in print if they're making mistakes like that. But that's the only gripe I've got about the entire range of stuff I've ever brought out, to my knowledge. Right, okay. News about Delta Green. Now, Delta Green, as you may know, have been somewhat of a revival because they had the reprint of the rulebook with the D20 stats. Boo-hoo. Right, okay. And they also had the Eyes Only, which was a reprint of the chat books, which were almost legendary in status on account. You could only ever buy them off their website. And we're talking about, what, 5 years ago? Back when broadband was a dream? And dial-up was like, oh, God. You know what, I'll never go back to dial-up. I don't care what happens. I'll go without the internet. I'm just never doing dial-up again. Right, okay. They want to release another book called Delta Green Target Opportunity. Unfortunately, and it is all new content as well, which is up to date for the 21st century. Unfortunately, it's going to cost them a godly amount of money to bring it out. So they need $20,000. Now, they are asking for pledges. Basically, if you pledge money towards the book and they get their $20,000, and they have $7,800 at the moment, they will not only publish the book, but they will guarantee you get a copy. Basically, the pledge they're asking for is basically the price of the book plus postage and packaging. Right, okay. I'm going to put the link in the sidebar, so you can go to the website and make a pledge if you want to. Right, okay, what I'm going to talk about today is a couple of monographs. As you may know, the monographs are little mini books that Chaos Sim do, where by being the author does all the layout and the editing, and basically Chaos Sim slap their name on it, put a cover on it, and call it a monograph. All in all, they're reasonably cheap, and so of course you try to import them into UK. Right, but that's a topic that if you go back to my Call of Cthulhu video, you'll get more of an idea about that. Why I'm not a huge fan of that, but Chaos Sim, in their face, it's their property, they can do what they want with it. Now, I'm going to review two today. First is the Bravenar Saga, which is the first Cthulhu Dark Ages monograph. It's only just come out. It is basically Vikings vs Cthulhu, or thereabouts. Obviously, you're not going to have, Uthoth versus a great giant tentacle beastie, although, in all fairness, that's something you can do with Cthulhu Dark Ages. Basically, this covers the span of 13 years for a group of Viking adventurers as they encounter the mythos at 3 stages in their lives. And it came very reminiscent of Beowulf in the fact that there is huge gaps between adventures where nothing much happens. They just get older and better and a lot richer. Very, very good. Normally not a huge fan of the adventures from the monographs because they tend to be quite short or tend to be very long-winded to justify the page count. This is spot on. Oh, and it's the first one as well, so hopefully first of many. Second is the Big Book of Cults. I need to make sure I say that correctly, otherwise I'll get in huge trouble. This is a book about modern day cults, so it is used for modern day Call of Cthulhu, which is not that much of an issue for me in all fairness. I do like modern day Cthulhu, I will play it. You don't have to play Delta Green to play modern day Cthulhu. In fact, Cthulhu goes into Delta Green, but Delta Green does not go into Call of Cthulhu. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you read the source material and then you'll figure it out. Especially when you consider what the canon for Delta Green does to certain places, like Goatswood, for example, is under a tarmac in Delta Green, but there you go. A very big piece of tarmac which is used for flying planes on. Right, okay. This has everything from apocalyptic cults worshipping a mask of Nyarlathotep all the way down to a bunch of sick people who've probably seen seen Hostel one too many times. I'll have to talk about Hostel one day and the whole torture porn thing, but for now, no. Right, okay. It's got everything. It's fantastic. It's going to be difficult to translate some of this to 1920s or even 1890s. Some of it, I'm going to say, is downright impossible. The great thing about it is that there are very few adventure hooks in here. Now, normally that would be a bad thing, but what the author has said is that the entire chapter for each cult is one massive adventure hook. He says, and I'm going to try and quote him on this, if memory serves, that when you read this stuff, you're going to think of plot hooks that he couldn't have possibly conceived in the time it took him to write this. And not only that, but once you invent the plot hook and you introduce your players are going to interact with it in ways that he and you never thought you could do. Some players doing unexpected things is something you need to get used to as a GM. It's the duality of the whole hobby. But no, love it to bits. It does open a bit kooky. I'll just read the actual quotation for you. Here we go. Time-travelling neo-Nazis in space. Now, like I say, it is a bit kooky, but it is actually very well written. And in all fairness, that is actually the cult in this book that I want to use the most. Because I want my space Nazis. Because, you know, you've got games where you go back in the past and you fight Nazis. You've got games where you can feed Nazis to dinosaurs. If you want to play Hellboy the RPG, you can beat Nazis with a giant stone fist. But now you go into space and blow them up. That's amazing. But no, Nazis, the universal bad guy. You can do anything to them, and it is entirely guilt-free, no sound loss whatsoever. Right, that's it basically. Hopefully this is under 10 minutes. Otherwise I'll have to re-record it, and you'll never see this. But yes, now that I've quit WoW, big revelation. I've got a lot more free time on my hands. I expect a lot more reviews of individual products, although I will still review whole lines of products or whole settings as well, you know, for huge giggles, and keep it from there. Thanks for your time. Bye.